But I'm glad you talked about the Ronaldo thing because, I think he deserves a medal because the simple reason is that any Arsenal United fan who slags him off is full of hypocrisy. I watch all your podcasts and I know exactly who you are, and you're very high profile. Some even work with you, and they've said everything Cristiano Ronaldo has said. So they daren't slag him off. Daren't. And that goes for ex-players like Neville, Ferdinand, Scholes. Daren't slag him off. The same with Andy Mitten, who writes for United Stand. United We Stand. Don't you dare slag this guy off because he's been saying everything. It's been blatantly obvious. And we now know, and we've always known why great managers like Van Gaal and Mourinho couldn't work there, and they didn't have anything to work with. So anyone who slags that man off are idiots. I call that Rangnick last year. I call that all of these people, and I can smell it, and I'm a gooner. So anyone who tries to go past, and that's for Ray Rooney, I'll be dealing with it in review because I've got a lot of dirt on him as well. So let's get it on.
Well, that was an intro and a half, Kenny. Kenny's come out fighting today. But yeah, that is the one place to start. Obviously, it is an Arsenal podcast, but that's taken over the whole internet at the minute. Obviously, Piers Morgan dropped some of the clips yesterday. Like I said, the full interview is out, I think, Wednesday, and then I think they're doing it in 2 parts, Wednesday and Thursday. But I'll give you my thoughts, and then I'll come to you guys. Big up everyone in this chat as well. From what we've seen from the clips, he has said pretty much everything that pretty much most Man United fans that I've seen on the internet have been saying. The Glazers are rubbish. The club stinks inside and out. From top to bottom, it's a shambles. The infrastructure at the club, like we know that there's rats running around on the pitch at Old Trafford. We know the roof leaks. That's been leaking for years. Inside the training ground, they haven't updated any of the jacuzzis and all of this he was going on about. Everything's still stuck in 2007, and none of that's been updated. So quite clearly the Glazers haven't invested any money into that side of things. On the pitch, they've been a shambles since Fergie left. He said that. But where I do have an issue with Ronaldo, only from them clips, I've not seen the full interview, like I said, but for where I have an issue with him, right, is if you are cussing all of that, surely when you go back there to sign, surely you have insiders and you go and check it yourself before making that decision. Surely you can have a little walk around the training ground. You're Ronaldo. You're coming back to United potentially. Surely you can go and check all of this out. You do have contacts still working in the club. Fergie still is at the club. So he could have contacted Fergie. They have a mutual respect, etc., etc. So that's where I have a slight issue with him. Second issue with him is the fact that when he's calling out his manager, I don't necessarily blame the manager. The manager's career is going to go on longer than Ronaldo's. Ronaldo's coming towards the end of his career. The manager's trying to make his way at United. He's got the not just with the manager, but with the hierarchy as well. And this is where I do take his side. If they're not going to use him, bin him. And they didn't do that, right? But the way he's going about it, oh my days. Like, I'm kind of 50-50 with this, lads, right? Because some of the stuff he's saying, majority of the stuff he's saying, you go, yeah, that's fine. I understand. I get that. I've been saying it about Man United. They're a shambles on and off the pitch. Right? Their fans are as bad as ours at times. And the club is rotten. Yeah, and Ten Hag's gone in there with an uphill task of trying to fix it. Obviously, he's getting paid massive amounts of money to do that. They're getting results at the minute without Ronaldo. When he plays, I don't think they've won a game or maybe one game this season when he has played. So his career at United is done. But why don't they just bin him? Like, I don't get it. And then he comes out and says in the interview, well, they're basically keeping me for commercial reasons. Yeah, which again, he signed a contract. You knew your commercial value to a football club. You've been at Real Madrid, Juve, and Man United twice. You know what you bring to the table as a footballer commercially. So I'm kind of 50-50 with him. I think the way he's going about the end of his career, he looks like a spoiled little bitch, in my opinion. Yeah, but at the same time, he did have offers in the summer, according to Roy Keane. Why didn't you take one of them then? But I don't know. Like Ten Hag for me, when he's saying Ten Hag disrespected me and stuff like this, Well, Harry Maguire's captain of the football club. That is a disrespect in itself to Man United. But that wasn't Ten Hag who officially made that original decision, but he has kept with that decision. But I get why he's kept that decision. We've seen Tyrone Mings at Aston Villa get publicly hung out to dry by Steven Gerrard, and his performances have been cack ever since he got stripped of the armband. If you do that to Harry Maguire, then it could go the same way. And he's going to need Harry Maguire until they can go and replace him. So the way I think Ten Hag's handled the Maguire situation, for me, Ronaldo's sitting there basically saying, well, I've been disrespected. You know, I've been told to come on with a couple of minutes to go. Mate, you've signed a contract to play for a football club. No player's bigger than the club. Fergie said that years ago. Any player thinks they're bigger than the club, they leave. The problem is they ain't allowing him to leave, which is mad. But Jez, let me come to you first, man. What do you make of all of this?
Mate, I just find it laughable, really. I haven't seen all the in-depth interview stuff about this, but Ronaldo is a major cash cow for Man United. And our case in point, I popped to my local shop today. There was two little kids there, two little lads, 6 twins, obviously, 6 years old. Both had Ronaldo 7 on the back of their shirts. Now, they were probably, when Ronaldo came to the club, 4, wouldn't have a clue about football. Now they're into football. So how many shirts have Man United sold with Ronaldo on the back of them since he's been back?
Stupid amounts.
Hundreds of thousands, I should think, because that's the draw he has. Now, I don't particularly like him. I never have liked him. I think he's an arrogant man. He acts like a petulant little child. If it doesn't go his way, then he gets upset and starts crying. You're quite right. He had the opportunity to leave in the summer. He didn't take it. Why? Probably because he wasn't going to get paid the exorbitant amount of money he does get. I think his attitude stinks at Man United. I never have liked him. The fact that he has walked into the tunnel before the end of a game on 2 or 3 occasions is a disgrace. There's a bit of a similarity here to a certain ex-Arsenal player that went in the way he was acting towards the end of his career at Arsenal. And it's quite clear to me, Lee, excuse me, his time is done at Man United. You're quite correct. An iconic name, legend player going back to Man United, to the Carrington blooming training ground. He would have had a look around there, or his contacts would have had a look around there. You're quite correct. So why he's bleating on about it now, it's sour grapes. Simple as that. And I'm sorry, Man United are a mess. Not a lot dissimilar to how Arsenal were, and Arsenal are improving. We cannot deny that fact. But I'm sorry, mate. To me, he's a petulant little child who's got the and he's now slagging everybody off. Well, at the end of the day, Ronaldo, if I was you, I'd sod off in January.
Mate, listen, I agree. For everybody in the chat saying Ronaldo sells shirts, and he does sell shirts, Man United get paid up front for the deal with, I think they're with Adidas as well. I believe, and this is only rough estimates, I believe they'd get 10 to 15% of every shirt sale, maximum. Yeah, maximum. And I think of the way it works, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the way it works, if you have a number and the name put on the back, the club keep every penny of that. Yeah, the kit sponsor don't get that money. They get the shirt money, like the actual kit and all the merch that Arsenal wheel out. That's why we wheel out so much. But I believe if you have a name and number put on the back, the club get all of that. So in that respect, when it's 7 Ronaldo on the back and they're selling hundreds of thousands, yes, he is bringing in a hell of a lot of money. Yeah. Kenny, what's your take on it, mate?
Well, first and foremost, I want to call out 2 people. Jamie Carragher's been talking left, right and centre about Ronaldo and criticising the best player in the world. I only got one thing to say to you, Jamie Carragher. Wes Morgan and Danny Simpson are won more league titles than you. That's sinking, Scouse boy. And that's Wayne Rooney who's slagging him off. Wayne Rooney, you're a hypocrite of the great of a great height. and probably one of the biggest hypocrites out there. Let's not forget that you, Mr. Rooney, tried to engineer a move to Man City whilst you're a Man United player, and you cited all the things that Mauricio Ronaldo was talking about, the lack of ambition and lack of infrastructure with you and your mate Paul Stretford. So don't come and play pies with me, because they call me the robot, and they call me the encyclopedia, because I remember all of this. So you two can jog on, big time, jog on. As for Cristiano Ronaldo, he deserves a medal. He deserves an absolute medal. I agree with you, both of you, that he should have shown some foresight, because there's a reason why Mourinho and Van Gaal didn't do a good job there. We know that. No, we've always known the real reason, not because they're poor managers, because the infrastructure's an absolute joke. They're stuck in a time warp, because we were complaining about the same things at Arsenal Football Club. And that was my theme. And we're still, and I'm saying still, pushing for the same infrastructure that Chelsea have and Man City have. Why? And Liverpool now getting. That's why they're top of the tree compared to us and Man United. All the things like if you look at the training ground of Man United, is an absolute disgrace. The player, their academy's a joke. I mean, they lose. Man City not regularly turn them over 9-0. That never happened under Sir Alex. They've been stuck in a time warp under Sir Alex since Sir Alex went out the door. And even when Sir Alex was there, they were in decline in terms of facilities. It was only his bloody mindedness and the respect I had for him that he actually kept them at the top. But it was blatantly obvious. Now we know that as soon as he went, the horses are going to run wild, and that's the whole situation. There's a reason why top players don't go in Man United, because of all of the things that Cristiano Ronaldo said. Yes, you are right that Cristiano Ronaldo, should never have gone there. But let me tell you something now about Cristiano Ronaldo. He was going to Man City. It was only the invention of Sir Alex Ferguson. Now, one thing you've got to say about Sir Alex Ferguson, he's one of the greatest managers of all time. But what's he doing there? Because he's just as culpable. I mean, he must know that the great club that he created is an absolute mess. Yet every year since he retired, 9 years, he's taken £2 million a year, and he's saying nothing and doing nothing about that. That's an institution that him and Sir Matt Busby made, and he's doing nothing. He's allowing this sort of mess, rotten training ground, poor facilities going back 20 years, going back 2009, and he's done nothing. What is he doing about it? I mean, I know, you don't want him to interfere, but to sit there and take money to do Sweet FA when your club, the club you and Sir Matt Busby built, and you were letting it happen. He should be in a dock. He should be in a dock, Sir Alex, because that's his club. He's just taking £2 million just like that. Everything Ronaldo is true. What he said about Rangnick was embarrassing. Ralph Rangnick is the biggest thief of all time. He's a thief. He's an absolute thief. He comes to Man United and they give him a job as coach when Man United are fighting to get in the top four, which is vital for their finances. And that idiot, who's never even coached a football club in years, the last time he coached a football club, they were near the bottom of the German league. Instead of coaching them to get in the top four, he's talking about all the remedies. They didn't bring it. And then it's funny how as soon as Ten Hag goes, he's got a job with Austria. Well, good luck to the Austrian FA with that man. I could talk a good game. So can you guys talk a good game? We were talking about all the problems at Man United from afar. No, we didn't need to get £5 million a year. That's all it happens at Man United. People are getting paid big money for doing Sweet FA and then letting that club go to rot. And I'll tell you one thing, who I feel sorry for. I feel sorry for those fans who protested and stopped the Liverpool game. I don't feel sorry for these super fans who go on their YouTubes. I don't feel sorry for them. They're talking because they talk a good game as well. They should be bigging up the protesters, and they should be at every protest covering it. Not just going talking a good game. You should be there doing it. It's your club. Make your club. What's Fleurs doing? He's talking more about Arsenal than his own club in order to get one over on you. He's a Man United fan. This is his club that is rotten.
I think
his
Terry's
club,
actually a super Bruno.
But let me say something. Man United are the biggest club in the world. They're bigger than Real Madrid, bigger than Barcelona. All this rubbish about Wayne Rooney being a bigger legend at Man United, yeah, only because he's been there longer. But come on, mate. The renaissance after Chelsea's domination and us Invincibles was down to one man and one only, and he wasn't Wayne Rooney. All right?
No.
And let's not forget, all you Rooney fans from the Northwest, just remember, he was going to do the same thing, but he lost his bottle. So when you call him a real red, Wayne Rooney's not a real red. He's an Evertonian.
He was going to Chelsea
Just
at one point as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, just fact it is, he's an Evertonian. So all these people who say they're disappointing, Gary Neville, shut up, mate, because you've spent every program when Man United lose, you talk about the same things that Cristiano complained about. Paul Scholes, another one. You can't criticise him. Wayne, you know the only person who deserves a medal and deserves any respect and should be listened to, Roy Keane. All the rest of you lot, you just club men and you're about this. Roy Keane, mate, he deserves a medal. And Cristiano Ronaldo, build a statue for him because the simple reason a player who's still contracted the club has got the balls to say everything that we've known. We laugh at Man United. We used to be scared of them. Now we laugh at them.
True.
I'll unmute myself. Experienced streamer and all of that. I'll do that every week on this show. Some of the Man United legends, or ex-players, are in absolute shambles. I can't lie. Yeah, Gary Neville chucks the biggest amount of crap I've ever heard about Man United, sitting there running his gums about the Super League and about how it's unethical and it's on this and it's on that. And now, who's the face of the Qatar World Cup? Gary Neville, getting paid an absolute wedge to be there and commentating on it. Yeah, that guy's got no morals whatsoever. He talks crap when it's going this way, and all the traffic for Man United fans is that way. Gary Neville's the front man of that. When it goes back that way, he runs back and he's the front man of that. That guy is an absolute snide. Yeah, and I'd suggest Man United fans to stop listening to him if there even is any that do listen to him anymore. Roy Keane, I like Roy Keane, but I think with this Ronaldo thing, he's protecting Ronaldo more than anyone else on Sky Sports. Like some of the stuff he's come out with, it's like, and Rooney said it on the radio the other day on TalkSport. He said he would never have said stuff like this when he was in the dressing room. So I don't know what's going on with him and Ronaldo, but it is what it is. But it is what it is, man. It ain't our club for a change. Ain't it nice? It's not one of our high-profile top earners at the club. We've had this with Aubameyang and Mesut Ozil. Let them deal with theirs. And I do think he'll be gone. I think he's played his last game for United.
Yeah.
I think I can see your argument as well, Kenny. I can see some of the stuff you're saying, but at the same time, I think there was no need for him to come out and do all of this. Right? He's only doing it because he's just a little baby that can't get his own way, and he's been used to being told yes his whole life. Yeah, now he's been told no, and get on the pitch, mate. You're coming on for 1 minute at the end. Walks off down the tunnel. Like, who do you think you are?